Battle Royale is one of those debatable horror films where people like to call it less of a horror and more of a suspenseful thriller. Yeah, a movie about a group of teenagers that are trapped on an island who are forced to kill each other in less than 3 days is a suspenseful film. That's basically the plot. In the near future, Japan's in the shitter. 15% unemployed, 10 million are out of work, 800,000 students boycott. You get the gist. This caused Japan to create the BR Act, which states that students must battle to the death for some reason. Yeah, they never explain how this is supposed to fix everything. You could say that's not the initial point of the movie, and I guess that can make some sense. Basically, think of more Lord of the Flies and less Hunger Games. In fact, there are theories that Hunger Games ripped off Battle Royale, since it was based off a book and it did get a lot of popularity in the West. But never mind that, back to killing teenagers. You might be thinking, how the hell are they going to develop all these characters? Well, they don't, exactly. There are 3 main characters, and the rest are like 5 other characters they cut to, or show what they're doing, or occasionally run into them. I saw the extended cut, or the special edition, as it says in the beginning. The extended cut adds some flashbacks, but it only helps the main characters. It also says that the extended cut added some CGI, but I never saw it. The flashbacks kind of work, but sometimes they just come out of nowhere. Also, some people like to call this movie a film where you're supposed to ask, what would you do in this situation? Well, in that case, you would want to make your film more immersive, right? Well, I think the extended cut doesn't really do that well, because it's kind of cuts to these flashbacks all the time. The original, I think there was only like 2 or 3, and here, there's a lot. It cuts to a basketball game, it cuts to them at school. I don't really think it's that immersive. At the beginning, we only see cuts that last for a couple seconds, and I think those are great. As of now, if you want to watch the original cut, it's on Netflix, so there you go. I don't really want to say it, but I found the 2 main characters to be kind of bland. I know that they're supposed to be the kind ones, or the blank slate, so that we can be relatable to them, but it just comes off as bland to me. Again, we do get flashbacks that kind of develop them, but overall, I was not interested in these 2. The thing that really did get me interested were the other characters, the background characters. You could even call them villains. I was actually interested in what these people were doing. We only get like a minute to develop them all, and I like it. They have attitude, they have characteristics. I like these characters. It's really impressive on how much they develop them, especially with this fast of a pacing. For those who have a short attention span, this movie is pretty fast. You still feel the 2-hour runtime though. There's also no exact main villain. Some of the characters act kind of evil, but there is the ex-teacher, who did grow on me over time. He's just so mellow throughout all this. It's like another day at the office for him. Some people have called this a horror comedy, but the only comedy I saw was some stupid stuff that the characters did, which I think was supposed to be comedic, but to me it just came off as kind of stupid. The only thing I thought was funny was the teacher's attitude in all this. Some parts seem to be more than an action than a horror. The director is famous for adding a shaky cam, which, by the way, I didn't really notice. And nowadays, shaky cam is a famous action movie thing. I guess in today's standards, this is a kind of normal movie. I mean, think about it. We've seen this trope before. People are trapped on a small location and they're forced to kill each other or forced to do something. We've seen it happen before. This movie wasn't even the first one to do it. Like I said, Lord of the Flies did it, but way before this. I'm not saying this is a bad film. It's pretty good, and it is very popular. It got a sequel and a manga adaptation, and was going to get an American remake, but The Hunger Games came out around the same time, so they thought it would get a little bit confusing. I can understand why it got this popular. It's just that I don't think it holds up that well. It's the classic how you watch something. If I saw this first, I would have loved it, but after seeing all these other movies, it just comes off as okay. So there's J-Horror-a-thon. Sorry I had to skip out a week. I had my power out for an entire weekend, so I decided to put this on for today's video. And sorry I promised to upload them on the weekend and ended up posting them on Monday. Basically I had all weekend to put it all together, and that took longer than expected, so sorry. Overall, I really enjoyed this. I probably will do it next month. So yeah, that's it for this month. It's Halloween. Go watch some movies.
Ha ha ha.